even more enlightening is the question that I posed on Twitter. The twitter.com. I posed the question this morning. Got a lot of responses. I tried to respond to some of them and then I literally could not keep up. And I kind of want to go through some of these and talk about them. And if you guys have any questions related to this topic, like I want you guys to be able to like chime in and stuff. Which this question is funny because Twitch, like this was before. I think this was before I knew Twitch was actually down. But I let me get the Twitter up here. So I basically said, who out there wants to stream but hasn't started yet? What's holding you back? And we got a ton of responses. Ton of responses. Let's go through some of this. So Morg answered, anxiety fueled procrastination combined with technical problems. I acquired the parts to build a new PC for streaming, but I am dragging my feet assembling it. Intend to do it this week and lost my job. Employment runs out 2 weeks and a friend just died. Damn Morg. So I've seen a couple of these answers actually throughout the threads. So a couple of common themes. One is like the technical part, like either people don't have the, a proper PC, or they don't know how to set up OBS. I've seen that a lot. Like it's kind of like the daunting technical aspect, which I totally understand. Like back when I started streaming, there weren't like any guides. Like it was kind of like piecing together from different Reddit posts like scattered around. And that's actually why I started StreamerSquare, was because there wasn't like a central resource to learn how to start streaming. I was like, well, okay, then I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So that's actually why I started StreamerSquare back when I was trying to start to stream. In terms of like the technical side, like having a good PC, thankfully over the years, actually for both sides, like it's gotten easier to, the barrier has kind of been lowered as programs like OBS become more efficient and less resource intensive. So OBS takes up like a fraction of your CPU, and you can even use your GPU nowadays actually to stream. And there's programs like Streamlabs OBS. I know Twitch has their own program, and I think Streamlabs is easier for beginners to get into. The downside is it's less what's the word that I'm looking for? Optimized than OBS. So Slobs is a great place to start if you're just learning how to use a program like that and get that kind of figured out. But then once you do, it's probably better to go to OBS Studio, because it's just Slobs has like a ton of issues. So yeah, the cool thing is nowadays is that you can actually stream off your GPU too. So if you just get like a really strong GPU, you can kind of do that instead. Do you think streaming would help with motivation? I was thinking if I streamed myself doing game dev, it would motivate me to actually do it because I would have an audience to impress. Yes, actually, I know there are people that will do like, they'll code on stream, or they will just do work on stream. I think doing something like that is a great way to hold yourself accountable, especially if you have a schedule to do so. So if you've been wanting to work on a project, doing it on stream could be really cool because you get the added benefit of like having an audience, having people interact with you. And I think that can be motivational for sure. Streamlabs is what I used when I streamed a couple times last year. Yeah, I think a lot of people get into Streamlabs OBS to start. Yo, what's up, Gun? How's it going? Yeah, we started streaming 52 minutes ago. We usually start at 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, but Twitch was down. Cody says, to answer your title, 0 viewers is what holds me back sometimes. Also not having a good knowledge of overlays and emotes too. So I definitely saw that answer a couple times. Let's see. Yeah, upgrading PC. I've seen people say like not having good internet, which is like unfortunately I can't offer you advice on that. Like there's like, you're kind of, SOL if you don't have good internet. What you need to stream is usually I mean you can get away with having 5 megabits or megabytes per second upload. But if you want like a decent solid quality, you're gonna want at least 10, because you're gonna want to stream at about 4,500 or 4.5 megabytes per second. So you're like, well, 5, if you have 5, then you can do it. But because your upload will fluctuate, you'll kind of start dropping frames. So I would say 10 is like where you want to have things. Now, if you're playing like a card game, if you're playing chess, poker, if you're playing a game that doesn't have a lot of movement, like it's not like you're playing a first-person shooter or something, or you're playing like an older game or something, you can get away with having a lower bit rate, because you don't need you don't need to stream in 1080 1080p 60, right? Like you can kind of get away with that. But yeah, I would say 10 is what you're looking for. And that's the thing too, is when you're looking for internet providers, like they often won't tell you what the upload is, and it's almost never the same as your download. So don't assume that if you're purchasing a package that has like 100 download, that you're getting 100 upload. It's often a lot less, and you're gonna have to specifically ask for that. My neighbor has very good internet and unsecure Wi-Fi. Can I? I mean, it's not gonna be a secure connection, I don't think, fella. So I don't know. My upload speed is like 10% my down, yeah. Because, like, I mean, I guess for the internet company, like most people don't need a high upload. So it's like 10 is plenty for watching Hulu. Use a cable? Yes. Yeah, so if you have if you are streaming and your connection, like if it's kind of on the line there, being hardwired to a router is going to be far superior than using the Wi-Fi. Usually. My computers don't even have Wi-Fi capability. I never bought like a Wi-Fi thing for them. How would you troubleshoot streaming when your apartment space just doesn't have the room to allow it? Your apartment space doesn't, you don't have enough space to stream? Like, are you just trying to stream like on a computer? Like you don't have room for like a desk and a PC and stuff? Straight up doesn't have the space to stream. I mean, like I've rearranged things, I guess. Like I've seen people get really creative with their streaming setups. You know, like Nega Oryx started streaming from her closet. She streamed in her closet when she started. People have streams in their kitchen, like their kitchen table, or doing a little setup in the kitchen. Your living room, if you have like a table there. You know, obviously this is easier if you have like a laptop and like a very mobile setup, but it's not going to be ideal if you don't have the space. But if you and Gangle both stream, then it might be worth setting up, I mean, you know, setting up one space and then having a schedule where, you know, you guys don't overlap in your streaming schedules. All these details are extremely helpful. Also, I'm going to start assembling the streaming PC today. Nice! Stream Dr. Light. What's up, Chris? So yeah, what was I talking about? Decent PC. I know there's people that are waiting for like hardware, like they need like a microphone or a webcam or something. If you're on a budget, I would say the lowest recommended mic, if you want something that is decent quality, not just like a headset mic, I would say it's gonna be the Blue Snowball. I just googled Snowball and it didn't come out with what I was looking for. The Blue Snowball mic is 50 bucks. That's probably where you're going. That's like probably the intro. Like you can get good quality off the Blue Yeti Snowball. Or is it just blue? It's just Blue Snowball. 50 bucks. As webcam, I wouldn't go anything less than a C920, but that's also like probably the only time you'll ever need to buy a camera unless you're like going for the professional setup and then upgrade to like a DSLR. But other than that, you can use a Logitech C920. It's 50, 60 bucks. It usually goes on sale. And really that's going to last you the majority of your streaming time. There are 2 different Blue Snowball mics. Are there? Blue Snowball mic. Let me see. There might be a newer model that's more expensive. I don't see it. Is it the Blue Snowball Ice? I don't know what the difference is. Snowball and Snowball Ice, what is the difference? The Snowball Ice is 50 bucks. I'm not sure. My earbuds have a mic right in the cord. The quality probably isn't going to be that great though, fella. But, I mean, you can test that and see how it is. Now, I will say that there are some free options for, at least for adjusting your microphone. So you can get away with like a cheaper mic and then use free resources like the NVIDIA RTX Voice or Voice Meter Banana. OBS has VST plugins. These are things that you can use to optimize your audio so that you don't have background noise if you have like a fan on or air conditioning. I know someone said that their PS4 was really loud. You can actually get, there's noise gate settings you can use to kind of clean your audio and make sure you're not picking up sounds that you don't want. We have a guide on StreamerSquare for a program called Reaper, which you can check out too. I'm not sure if the whole program is free, but there's some options there for your audio. I should try Voice Meter. Yeah, I used Voice Meter for a while, and now I have a Go XLR, so I just use that. I got a Razer Siren Mini for use on the road and I like it, only 50 bucks. Nice. Only bad thing is no headphone port for monitoring. Yeah. I didn't start monitoring my own voice until I got the Shure SM7B though. But I ended up like, I realized that I talked so loud without it. Like when I wore headphones and didn't have monitoring, I was like yelling. The Reaper plugins are free. Nice. The polar patterns options between Snowball and Snowball Ice. Ice only has cardioid, while the non-ice has 2 other options that aren't really necessary for streaming. Gotcha. Yeah, the Snowball is a good starting point, I think. If you're trying to get like a decent sounding mic, but you're on a budget. Kage! Oh my god, dude, thank you for the 68 months. Holy crap, dude. Thank you so much for the support. That is insane. Thank you so much. Yeah, so Gizmo says like living with a somewhat noisy family is probably the biggest thing. I haven't quite figured out how to mitigate. Yeah, so Gizmo, I think I saw you in chat. I would definitely check out those resources. Let me get you the link to that guide. So this is the guide to use Reaper from StreamerSquare. You can check that out. And then, like I said, OBS has VST plugins. And what you're gonna look for is setting up a noise gate and then background cancellation. So if you have a NVIDIA RTX, then you can actually use their voice program. It's free. It uses their own their own hardware to basically clean up your mic and only pick up your voice. It's really good. It's really, really cool. I think that's pretty much the primary way to go if you have a NVIDIA RTX card. I think that people were saying that you can use it even if you don't have it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the stipulation is for that. It's helpful for all my calls at work. No one hears my dog bark. There was a clip that we saw on stream about the RTX voice where there was a streamer or content creator that had they were hammering their desk with the RTX voice and it wasn't picking up at all. And then they turned off RTX and you could hear the hammering, and then they turned it back on and it was gone. Like, that is how good the NVIDIA RTX voice thing is. It's really, like, it's probably the best solution if you have a lot going on in the background. It's Lucky Drew, like, it's crazy. It's crazy. So if you have like AC going on, you have your PS4, you got dog barking noise. Yeah, it's really legit. I know, like, so I saw that a lot of people didn't really stream because of like having depression. I saw anxiety as a common theme as well. Obviously, like, if streaming is causing you anxiety, then like take care of yourself first, right? If you're going through things, take care of yourself first. But I will say, if you're anxious about starting streaming, like you're nervous, like really, like the best way to get over that is to actually get into it. Like there were people, a couple responses were saying like they don't have the confidence, they're like afraid. And I would say that like, honestly, don't wait, like, because you're just building it up in your head. And it's one of those things that once you start streaming, like, you're going to feel so much better. Like, you're going to get the hang of it. And that's the thing too, if like your setup's not perfect, you're worried like people are going to judge you, or like, you know, like you have to just start and see what it's like. Like these things do take practice. When I started streaming, I was so timid and shy. Like, I barely talked. I had a crappy mic. I was like slumped in my chair. Like, I had the most potato setup ever. But I think, like, you know, waiting for your setup to be perfect or to like you can't be an expert at streaming before you start. Like, it's just not possible. There's a lot of learning and prep that you can do, but at the end of the day, like, you got to just do it. You got to just see what it's like. Even if it doesn't go well, like, you have to get that hands-on experience, because there's just no way to just mimic it and just, you know, or just to picture it, you know? No matter what you do, Twitch is going to judge you. It's what we do. Well, I think also, like, you have to remember that, like, when you start streaming, unless you already have a following built up, like, you're not going to have many people, if any, in your chat. Like, you might as well start and practice and learn. Like, no one's watching, really. Like, unless you tell your parents and your friends that you're doing it, but like, you can just practice and stream on your channel and learn and review your VODs. You know, that's definitely one of the struggles that people have, is like getting viewers into the stream, but you're not going to ever get viewers if you just never stream. I think the room environment plays a major role in having good audio. Oh, for sure. For sure. But again, like, you can get away with a lot just by using some little tweaks. I think when I start streaming, I'm going to keep in mind that I want to build a community. It's just not feasible to be a big streamer without lots of work. Yeah, I mean, being a big streamer there's a lot of luck involved. Obviously, like, a lot of work, and you gotta, I mean, you have to learn how to stream first. You understand, like, how the game is played. A lot of it's experimental, though. Like, you gotta just try things. Like, so many people get their big breaks off, you know, being in a good position and having a solid stream and then just like finding that one little niche, you know? It's a combination of a lot of things, but you know, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Lack of equipment, lack of availability. Yeah, time is a tough thing. Finding time to stream can be really, really tough. Having some level of like a schedule or consistency is going to do well. Why didn't you dress up today? Why would I dress up today? You're gonna want some type of consistency if you start streaming. You don't have to stream every day. You don't have to stream for 5 hours. But I think for most people, you're gonna want to have a time and days where people can expect you. Much alike when you have a TV show that you're following, you know when it is on and what time it starts, so you can be there. That's gonna make it easier for people to come back if you build a routine. So, you know, I would say if you can do a couple days a week, I would say just like a couple hours, find some type of schedule. But again, like that's for people who want to grow. If you just want to stream and just stream, like don't worry about that kind of stuff. Most of my advice will be catered to people who want to take it at least semi-seriously, like they're looking for viewers, they're looking to gain viewers and grow. Bye, Lil John. Holiday? Oh my god, Lyriel. Oh my god. How do you want me to dress up for Groundhog Day? I do have another question for you, Lowco, but I don't know how solvable it is beyond, like, man, I don't know. So, you know, I'm half deaf, and even after listening to VODs, I still feel like I just have to guess when it comes to appropriate audio levels. Especially for like me versus the music or me versus Vex, like when we stream together. I don't actually know. Is there more detailed audio settings? I don't know. I mean, like when you use the audio, so if you use OBS, you can pop out every module that OBS has. So if you don't feel like the audio levels, like you can see them, what you can try to do is pop out the audio mixer, which is what I do because my OBS is up here. But I don't want to look up here every time I'm looking for the audio. So what I do is I pop it out and I keep it next to my chat so I always have it. So you can actually make the audio mixer standalone and make it bigger so you actually get a little bit more of a precise reading. And you can look at all your audio levels, and it just disappeared. What did I do? Now I messed it up. Now I'm breaking things, chat. So in terms of like a more advanced monitoring system, I'm sure there's something available. I'm just not aware of it. I missed most of the segment. Basher, if I didn't get to your point or if I didn't respond, let me know. You can always post it in chat. Way to break things, I know. Yeah, you can use you can try voice meter. It used to be voice meter banana, but now it's voice meter potato. No lie. You can actually use that. That might be helpful. I think if I ever start streaming, it'd be for fun. I mean, that's the way to get into it. So Psy Mechanical had a question, was like, is Psy Mechanical still here? Because you had a good question that I want to answer. Yeah, okay. Banana still exists. I use it over potato, yeah. Okay. So Psy said, I like to stream, but how the hell do you make enough money if you're just starting? So that's kind of one of the things with like Twitch affiliate, where you can have monetization options more readily available with the existence of Twitch affiliate, but you still need viewers at the end of the day. Like you can't just procure money out of thin air, right? Like you're still gonna need an audience. So when you start streaming, like I wouldn't start streaming when you're in a position where you need to make money. Like I wouldn't ride like completely on trying to make it as a streamer. Like unless you have the financial stability to do so, there are no guarantees. Like you have to grow your channel, and that is, you know, a whole thing. Like even if you do hit affiliate, that money probably won't amount to anything. Like if you have 3 viewers, if you have 10 viewers, like you have to hit $100 to get paid by Twitch, okay? $100 before you get paid by Twitch, okay? So if you get 10 subscribers, that's 25 bucks. It's gonna take you 4 months to cash out, okay? Just need 3 really rich and generous viewers, yeah. Find one whale. But that's important to keep in mind. Like, you know, becoming a Twitch affiliate is not, like, it's not really life-changing. It's not really gonna change much. Because here's the thing, you can monetize before you're an affiliate too. Like, before affiliate even existed, you can have a Patreon, you can have a tip button, you know? Now, obviously having like those in-house tools is ideal. Like this, people just carry around bits and you just never know. But yeah, like you can't really go into streaming being like, I'm gonna make a ton of money and be able to pay my rent this month. Is there not a minimum view count where you're more likely to make enough money to go full time? So that's gonna vary a lot. There are people that get 1,000 viewers that have only like a couple hundred subs. There are people that only have like less than 100 viewers and are able to do this full time. So there's not really a minimum because it's gonna depend on what you need to sustain yourself and how well you monetize your stream and the generosity of your viewers, right? Because you're basically an entertainer in the street with your hat out, hoping that people will support you. Now you might get a lot of subs and have people subscribing, but at a lower viewer count, like that's not going to sustain you. You need to have that additional, like, here's, you know, 10,000 bits. Like you're going to need those types of support. And again, that's not consistent. So keep that in mind. Like if 1 month you make, you know, $2,000, like, and you're like, damn, like, oh snap, like, all right, I'm good. Let me quit my job and go full time. And then the next month you make $200 because your community was just super generous that month. And that doesn't mean they're going to be exactly that generous every month. Like you have to have better planning than just being like, oh, these last 2 months were super hype, I can quit my job and do this. Like, because financially, like streaming is very inconsistent. And it can be really unpredictable. Again, because you're at the basically the mercy of your audience. Like there's not really great ways to just, like, running ads is like the idea of like, oh, you can just run ads and you will make money consistently. That's consistent, but it doesn't amount to much if you only have like a couple dozen viewers. It's not even worth doing, in my opinion. What's up, Johnny? I feel like we're going to be moving to a sort of thing where we are streaming to and watching each other, and I don't think that's a bad thing. What do you mean, Super Double A? So in terms of going full-time streaming, there's not a minimum viewer count. There is probably a, like, honestly, like a sub goal that you have to keep for, you know, let's say 3 or 4 months where you're like, okay, this seems stable. Now I can make this leap, and you have like some money saved up. So let's look at these answers here. So yeah, PC, having PC limitations. I'm older than 99% of streamers and wonder who the heck would want to watch an old geezer play. There's a couple of I mean, there's an older audience on Twitch for sure. Like, I wouldn't make assumptions like this. I wouldn't make assumptions like, oh, I'm too old to do it or something, or I'm too bad at games, or I don't think I'm entertaining enough. Like, there is an audience for pretty much everything. I saw someone say like, oh, I don't think the games I would play would be entertaining. There's an audience for everything. And really, it's just like, you want to find your niche. You want to follow what you're passionate about, because that's going to be your best content. And it's really more about you and the way you entertain, rather than, oh, let me look at this checkbox. Okay, you are X amount of years old, too old for me. Oh, you're playing this game, I don't care. Like, it's really more about you. And you are creating the entertainment. Is voice meter free? Yes. It's donationware, so you make a donation, I think. But I wouldn't like, so don't make assumptions like I'm older than most streamers. Like, then that presents opportunity, because there's definitely an older audience. Maybe it's not as big, like the majority is definitely like younger, but I wouldn't just like be like, don't count yourself out before you've even given it a chance, you know what I mean? And also, being mediocre at games, like, it's not all about being good at games. Like, think about, there's so many streamers, including myself, that are mediocre at games that people still watch. Like, you just have fun. Have fun, be passionate about it, be knowledgeable about it. Like, you don't have to be good. I think C-Star, most of my audience is like, I think we've done an age poll a few months ago. Most of my audience is like around my age, which makes sense because people like to watch their peers. That's why most of the biggest streamers are guys, because there's a lot more men that watch Twitch and they connect better with someone that they see themselves as, you know? Like a dude playing games. If you want to be a great streamer, just troll Lowco with Groundhog Day. Suicide! Thank you for the 66 months, Suicide. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. What's up, haha? How you doing? But yeah, like the cool thing about streaming is there's something for everyone, and you should make your own space. Yeah, you will find people, like-minded people, for sure. Let's see. I think I missed a question. What is financially better for streamers, subscriptions or bits? Bits is more of a percent. So like if you give 500 bits, I get $5. But if you give a $5 subscription, most people get half of that. That being said, subscriptions are used as a metric by Twitch. Like having like a big core number of subscribers, like true subscribers. These are people that have subbed themselves, so not gifted subs. Twitch uses a metric for opportunities. Back when we had conventions, it was a metric for getting to parties, for getting meet and greets, stuff like that. So it is a valuable metric. Subscriptions are also a little bit more predictable. Like, so if you have 500 subs, you know that you're getting that much money every month, usually, like around that amount, right? Whereas bits is like, you never know when Combat Monkey drops 20,000 bits, you know, or, you know, it's a slow month and no one is cheering at all, right? So bits are really much harder to predict, but again, you get more out of it. So each have their pros and cons. Basher, yeah, I mean, I don't remember. I think it was not like the TwitchCon stuff, but like this was back during the PAX events and stuff, when like they were just starting to become too many people to invite. That's showbiz. But yeah, so yeah, having like a certain amount of subs is a good thing. Let's see what else we got. I want to have a better plan of what my stream, what I want my stream to look like, the feel and the vibe. That makes sense too. Now, so this is something that I see a lot where people are like, I don't know what to name my community. I don't know what theme I should go with. I don't know what branding I should have. And what I say to that is I know myself, and I know a lot of the streamers didn't really know what they were doing when they got into streaming. Like, the community kind of formed itself. Like, I think I was able to kind of come up with a theme before I started streaming, but that image has changed several times in the last 6 years and will continue to grow and evolve and change. Yo, what's up, Demon Child? Welcome to the stream. So that's gonna change. Like, if you are really struggling to think of this, I would try to just start streaming and see if something evolves. Like, one of the biggest stories that I can think of is Elohim, and like his whole Viking themed channel really didn't come about until like one of his viewers, I think, mentioned he looked like a Viking or something, and then it just became a whole thing for his channel. So yeah, sometimes you gotta just stream and see like what kind of sticks, and maybe just try something too. Like, you can always change and give yourself a new look. Is it okay to start with something basic and you decide on that stuff along the way? Yeah, you can totally do that. Yeah. Or just try something and see if you like it, see if you can get a feel for it. But yeah, sometimes that creativity just kind of comes about on its own, like over time as you do it. I think something that makes it hard for people to find themes / emotes is they try to match their name to it, and sometimes it doesn't really match with anything, for sure. Yeah. And so if you're coming up with like a brand, if you want to come up with like a brand or like a community theme, I get that going with your name makes the most sense, right? But like, if your name is Demon Child 42, but all you do is play, you know, Barbie games, like, I don't know if like a demonic themed channel would make a lot of sense for your audience. Like, if all you do is play like Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley, and you have like a demonic themed channel, like, I don't know, it might be like a little weird, you know. It might it may not click very well. But yeah, so thinking of like a brand, you can think of like what kind of games you want to play. Like, maybe you really like, you know, city builder sim games. Like, you can go with like maybe that as a theme, so you can kind of match like what you're playing, or something you're passionate about. Maybe you like scary games, you can go with like a horror theme channel. So those are some other things to think about. Maybe you're really passionate about mac and cheese. Like, you love mac and cheese. You can just have like a mac and cheese themed channel. And honestly, that'd be pretty freaking cool. And now I'm hungry. Now I want mac and cheese. Why are you giving away all these themes for free? Slow down. Review different mac and cheeses. Yeah. Yeah, and now all of a sudden you got ideas for content that you could do. Like, you can have like mac and cheese overlays, and then like a mac and cheese eating stream, ASMR, different types of mac and cheeses, like taste testing, mac and cheese themed giveaways, get some pins made. My go-to is like some box, like Annie's mac, honestly. Yo, what's up, A-Greens? What's up, Bruiser? You better be taking notes, Bruiser. I'm giving away a lot of advice here. All right, let's keep going through this. I have a real job, make a decent living, kind of tough call to potentially risk that for anything. Yeah. Also, it's not like just do both between work, my own development, and streaming consistently. I wouldn't have time to sleep. Yeah. I know this is like a struggle with a lot of people, is like the work-life balance. It's really hard. The streaming is very, very time-consuming and extensive. I would say if you like, for the people that have responded and said, "Oh, I don't have enough time to stream," then that's when you want to look at other forms of content, because maybe it's not necessarily that you want to be a streamer, it's that you want to be a content creator. And I think people just look at Twitch and look at streaming, they're like, this is what I want to do, but maybe there's a different platform that's better for you. I know people that have streamed for years and then they try TikTok and they've been flourishing, you know? There are different ways to produce content online. So, you know, each one has its pros and cons. Each one is done differently, but you can look at things like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Like, these all function in very different ways and might be better for those who don't have a 3-hour gap, you know, a day to stream. And that's just the streaming part. That's not the social media. That's not the community building, the game planning, the networking. Like, you know, that's just the stream. So if you've only got, let's say, you know, on Fridays you have 5 hours, but then like the rest of the week you have like an hour or two here or there, like maybe you should think about other platforms. Maybe you should consider, you know, something that has more flexibility. Because I would say like streaming just on its own is like the most time consuming in terms of just committing, like, you know, to sit down and do the thing straight. Like YouTube, you can chip at the editing, you can chip at the script writing, same thing with TikTok. Like you can kind of chip at it. I have a Google alert set up anytime someone says mac and cheese giveaway. Now I'm here. Perfect. What's up, Dylan? How you doing? If you have questions about streaming or setting up your stream, check out the StreamerSquare Discord. If you have questions about anything about streaming, or you just want to talk to other streamers, check out the StreamerSquare Discord server. It's discord.gg/StreamerSquare. There's streamers in there, there's moderators, there's graphic artists if you need emotes, there's tax professionals, like industry people. There's a ton of people in the Discord server. So if you're looking to get that kind of like more direct assistance, that's where you want to go. So yes, people have said like mental health as like that you should focus on. Streaming can be a really nice escape for people, like if you're going through things. You know, streaming has helped me so much. Watching streams has helped me so much. But if you feel like it's actually taken a toll on your mental health, which is something that if you're struggling with your mental health, with your happiness, like take a step back and see where streaming fits in that, because I know for a lot of people, like it can be a burden. Like I've had to take breaks, several breaks over the last 6 months because my mental health was suffering and the streaming was not helping. I was hurting my stream and it was not helping me. So take a step back and reevaluate that, and don't be afraid to take a break. Like if you need it, you need it. It's much better to commit to taking a break and getting that help and working on yourself than like dragging through it, becoming resentful of your stream, leaking that negativity into your community. You know, it's just pushing through it often does not really work. I should like these because I've read them. A lot of fears. Afraid of putting myself out there, afraid of not being good enough. Yeah, I mean, afraid of making a mistake. Super Mega, I mean, you watch my stream, like, you're gonna make mistakes. Like, you are. You're gonna suck. Honestly, when you start streaming, you're probably gonna suck unless you're a very outgoing, charismatic person and you've taken theater classes. When you start streaming, it's gonna be rough. But you're gonna get better at it, you're gonna learn, you're gonna grow. Being critiqued by trolls, that sucks. It feels really bad. But it is something that you kind of build up a resistance to over time. And you know, just dealing with those and getting that. Like, I know it sucks to be like, you know, you just gotta deal with the trolls, but you do get better at that. We're talking about streaming, yeah. If you guys are wondering what we're talking about, I asked a question on Twitter. The question is in the topic bar. It's what's holding you back from streaming. So I'm going over the responses. Do I want to or not? That's my dilemma. Would be really fun to do with friends for sure. Casual streaming on YouTube, internet speed and stability. My actual job hours, hobby and family hours would be gone. Yeah. Understandable. My problem is usually not having a plan, so when I figure out what to stream, the day have ended. I get that, like feeling like you don't have like a direction of what you want to do. I don't know, are there games that you're enjoying? Is there something you're passionate about? Like, I would try to make a list. Get a notebook and a pen. So this is what I do for my brainstorming. If I'm sitting at my desk, I have a really hard time brainstorming. I like to go outside. I like to write on a notebook, get away from my computer, and that's when I do my best thinking. And I would think of anything and everything you enjoy about streaming, either from actually doing it or conceptually, like what you've seen in others that you want to emulate, what games you like, what you like to talk about, and just make a list. And once you make that list, you'll get a better idea of like what you're interested in and what you'd want to do on stream. Is Notebook and a Pen a new app? I'm not ready to share my raging Pokemon card addiction. Dude, Pokemon card streaming is so big actually on Twitch right now, which is actually kind of funny. It's actually really massive. Lack of energy and enthusiasm on top of the fact that I work nights. Yeah. A lot of people said like not having the energy and time. Lack of saturation of viewer base. I streamed for a little over 4 years and watched the platforms become more toxic and less amenable to small streams. Either you know someone who hands you a solid audience base or you flounder with few no viewers. Okay, but if you... So what's stopping you from doing this part? What is stopping you from doing this part? This is networking, okay? And networking is definitely a really important aspect of streaming. And I'm not talking about using people or like just going around asking for raids and stuff, but actually building genuine connections with like-minded streamers and working together with people around your size that are kind of doing the same type of content you are and being like, hey, let's collab. Collaborating is such a big thing on YouTube, but on Twitch, like people don't really think about it as much. Like YouTubers understand like, let's collab, let's use each other, let's work together and build content, like, and crossover audiences. But for some reason on Twitch, like this is not something that is recognized as easily. It's not as common, but if you're like, there's a lot of people that have grown a lot just by making smart connections and collaborating. So Helm understands like what you need to do. You're right. Like either you network or you work on by yourself, and it's kind of the harder way to do things. Not impossible, but do this part. There's nothing stopping you. Like literally there's nothing stopping you from finding like-minded people and working together. Like you should do that. You should 100% do that. Pine Piece with the 16 months. Thank you so much, Pine Piece. I appreciate that. Keep quitting because I'm really bad at streaming. Near total lack of any charisma and inability to conceive of anything new to bring to the table. So I've seen a couple of people say that, oh, I don't know what to do like when there's no chat. And I have 2 articles that I want to recommend. I'm going to link them in chat. So the first one is called Improving Speech and Mastering the Monologue, which was written by Karate, who does our social media. He also streams, and he works for a game studio. Really great article about, I'll show you guys here. about tips about basically warming up, being presentable, like different ways to practice. It's really, really great article. I'll link it for you guys in chat. The other one is called Avoiding Dead Air. And this is kind of just like a much more concrete list of ideas of like when chat is dead, what do you do? And this has everything from topics to talk about to running giveaways, doing polls, like engaging your audience. I will link that one for you guys too. I highly recommend checking those out if you guys have trouble figuring out what to say, because I know there's a lot of concern about that in these tweets. About people being like, I don't know what to do and if no one's watching. And it's honestly just mastering the ability to ramble and talk about the game, talk about yourself, and just create a stream of thought. Which again, I'll say gets better as you do it. Like you have to like stream and practice, because I was not like this when I streamed. I barely talked when I streamed, and I got better at it over time. So it takes practice. I mean, streaming has its own skill sets, you know? Having a schedule, understandable. Basher, I think if you're still here, then hopefully you heard my little spiel about maybe trying other forms of content. Lack of confidence, motivation, in the sense that I don't have the type of personality to be entertaining enough. Again, like practice. And just remember that people can be entertaining in their own ways. You don't have to be exactly like Him the Tatman to be successful, or Summit or something. Like, there's different ways to be entertaining. It's not just about like, you know, being loud and like yelly. IPC, time, internet, need a capture card and mic, not having PC. Yeah, okay, so for so the second monitor, so you can use a Jeff, if you have an iPad, you can use that as a monitor. You can put like chat up on there if you want. If you have a tablet, you can use your laptop to connect to your PC and serve as like another monitor. You just need what, like an HDMI or something, right? Connect that the laptop to your PC, right? Or do you need a capture card? How do PCs work? How do you connect to PCs? Better PC, internet. Adulting. Jack with the 79 months. Oh my god, Jack, I was just linking your article. Did you know that I was linking your article? Your StreamerSquare article? Did you sense it? Thank you for the 79 months and the tier 2 support. Thank you so much. What else we got? Time and equipment. Lack of confidence. Anything else that I've missed? I don't think so. So Hooded said like tax laws, which is something like you'd have to consult a professional in your country. If you live in the US, we have some resources on StreamerSquare that have been written or at least reviewed by tax professionals and financial professionals. We have a finance section, so you can check that out on the StreamerSquare.com website. Like understanding your affiliate contract, or you know, what kind of tax forms you need. For US-based streamers, we have that information. Unfortunately, it's really hard to find other information out there for other countries because I just don't know any tax professionals outside the US. which is something that I would love to get info for, but again, I don't know anyone. So if anyone knows anyone, you know, hit me up. Yeah, Jack, for sure. Can you... Let me make a note of that before I forget. Okay. Yeah, so when no one's responding, I link those things. I think that's pretty much everything. I think that's pretty much everything we've covered. So do you guys have any last questions related to this topic? Like related to what is holding you back, what's stopping you from streaming? And was this helpful? Did I hopefully help address some of the things that you guys are concerned about and offer some reasonable solutions? Yeah, crazy. Yeah, it's definitely trickier for people outside the US. I have a question. Have you missed discussing this stuff? Yes. Yes, and that's why we're gonna do more of it, Rad. It's something that I've always been super passionate about, and we're gonna do more of it. Good lecture, thank you. All right, cool. I'm glad that I helped you guys. Hopefully I answered some questions. I hope if you're watching this that maybe you feel a little bit more motivated to just start, because like that's at the end of the day, like just try it, see what happens, tinker with it, watch your VODs to see like what you can improve on, and just it takes some practice for a lot of the stuff. It just takes some practice. So yeah, let me know if that was helpful, and yeah, we'll do more stuff like this in the future, and we'll put this on YouTube too. So if you missed it, you can check it on YouTube, and if you're watching right now on YouTube, then hello,